Hello everyone, welcome to Home Cooking with me Hima Subramanian. Holi is round the corner and what better way to celebrate than make these delicious sweets and savories at home. So let's get started and check out some wonderful recipes for the festival. For the Thandai, first I'm going to make the saffron milk. Take 1.5 liters of milk. Once the milk comes to a boil, add a few saffron strands. So take a nice big pinch. Turn off the stove. So the saffron milk is ready. Keep it aside. For the Thandai mix, first I'm going to soak all the ingredients, starting with 1/4 cup of badam or almonds. You can soak the nuts the previous night or you can soak it with warm water for 6 hours. So now I'm using warm water to soak these nuts. Keep this aside. To another bowl, take 1/4 cup of cashew nuts, 1/4 cup pistachios, 1/4 cup melon seeds, 1.5 tablespoons of poppy seeds or gus-gus, 2 tablespoons sombu, 2 teaspoons black peppercorns. So I've just added 1 teaspoon of cardamom pods, roughly about 6. So I'm adding 1 cup of warm water and soaking all the ingredients. Soak all these ingredients for about 6 hours. Keep this aside. The badam has been soaking for about 6 hours now. You can see after 6 hours the badam is all plumped up nicely. So just peel off the skin, keep it aside. It's been about 6 hours. I've strained the water from all the soaked ingredients. Transfer it to a mixer jar. Add the soaked badam. Add a few dry rose petals. If you don't have them, you can use rose essence. Grind all the ingredients to a nice fine paste. You can add water or milk to get the nice fine paste consistency. So I'm just going to add a little water. Transfer the milk to a nice wide kadai or a big wide saucepan. Transfer the ground mixture to the milk. Mix everything well till it's all well combined. Finally, I'm going to add the sugar. You can add about 3/4 to 1 cup of sugar according to your taste. Turn off the stove and finally add 1/4 teaspoon of rose essence or rose water. Give it a quick mix. The Thandai is done. Cool it completely. Once you bring it to room temperature, refrigerate it and serve it nice and chilled. I've soaked 1/2 cup of dried peas overnight. You can see they're all well soaked now. I'm adding 2 potatoes along with the peas. Next, I'm going to pressure cook the peas for about 3 to 4 whistles on medium flame. I'm just going to remove a little bit of the peas and keep it aside. I'm just going to remove the potatoes, peel off the skin. Drop the peeled potatoes back into the pressure cooker. Now I'm going to mash the peas and the potatoes together. Potatoes and peas are mashed well. Keep it aside. Add about 1 tablespoon oil. To this I'm adding 1 medium-sized onion finely chopped. Next, add 2 cloves of garlic finely chopped, a piece of ginger chopped. Add 2 green chilies chopped. The onions have sauteed well. It's turning to a nice golden color. Turn off the stove and cool the mixture. Transfer the sauteed onions into a mixer jar. Next, add the chopped tomatoes. Next, to the same pan add a little oil, about 2 teaspoons. Next, add 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, 1 teaspoon Garam masala powder, 1 teaspoon Chaat masala powder, quarter teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon salt. Mix everything together. If you like the masala to be spicy, you can add 1 more teaspoon of chili powder. To this, I am going to add half cup of water. Cook the masala for about 10 minutes. Add 2 cups of water. I'm going to add the whole piece that I kept aside earlier. Add some chopped coriander leaves. Close and cook for 15 minutes on medium flame. The piece masala is ready. It's come together very beautifully. It's nice and thick now. Turn off the stove. Now I'm going to assemble the masala puri. For this, take the small puris, crush them and place them on the plate. Pour the piece masala over the crushed puris. Chaats are not complete without adding mint chutney and the sweet tamarind chutney. So next I'm going to add the mint chutney, add the tamarind chutney, add some chopped onions, some chopped tomatoes, sprinkle some chili powder, some chaat masala, some amchur powder, add some nylon safe, and finally garnish it with some chopped coriander leaves. The masala puri is done. Serve it hot immediately. So first I'm going to make the sugar syrup for the jalebi. For the sugar syrup, I've taken 2 cups of sugar to a saucepan. To this add 1 cup of water. So once the sugar is dissolved completely, I'm just going to add 2 cardamom cloves that I've just roughly pound, the juice of half lemon, just add a pinch of saffron, this is optional. I'm just adding it to give a nice flavor to the sugar syrup. So boil it for another 5 minutes on medium-low flame. So the sugar syrup is done. Make sure it's not too thick. We don't want to boil it till it comes to a string consistency, or it shouldn't be too runny. It should be just right. So when you add the hot jalebis, it should absorb the sugar syrup and the sugar syrup should coat the jalebis perfectly. So the sugar syrup is done, keep it aside. Now I'm going to start making the batter for the jalebis. So we're making the instant jalebi batter. For this, to a bowl add 1 cup of maida, that is all-purpose flour. Next add a small pinch, about 1/8 teaspoon of baking powder. So you can also add baking soda if you want. Just make sure it's just a pinch, you don't want too much. A small pinch of coloring agent. So I'm just using the orange color, just a small pinch. If you don't want to use the coloring agent, it's fine, you can do it without it. So just give it a quick mix. Next I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of curd. You can also add yogurt. Add a little water. I'll gradually incorporate the water to get the right consistency for the batter. So using a whisk would be easy to mix the batter. So that way you'll have a nice free flowing batter. So I've added close to about 1 cup of water in total. You can see it's becoming nice and creamy and smooth. Now that the jalebi batter is ready, I'm going to pour it into a piping bag. So I'm using a disposable piping bag here. So using a glass will make it easier to pour the batter into the piping bag. So I'm just going to fold it. So there you go. Now I'm just going to pour the batter. Seal it completely with a rubber band. This is easier this way. I will just snip the tip here using a scissors just before making the jalebis. Pour the sugar syrup into a bowl and keep it aside. So next I'm going to get the oil ready for deep frying the jalebis. To fry the jalebis, make sure you have a nice wide pan. Pour enough oil because we're going to deep fry them. So many of them actually make the jalebis in ghee also. So if you're comfortable doing that, you can also pour ghee to make your jalebis. So I'm just going to snip it. So just make sure the oil is hot enough. We don't want it to be piping hot because then it can burn the jalebis. Once the oil is heated, maintain the temperature on medium to low. Once the oil is hot, gently press the cone to make the jalebis. Deep fry the jalebis for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Remove it and place it into the sugar syrup immediately. Just dip it on both sides, gently remove the jalebis from the syrup and serve them immediately. There you go, you can see the jalebis are a lovely golden color. They're so crispy, they've absorbed the sugar syrup so beautifully and you can taste it, it's super crunchy and delicious. So you can make these instant jalebis anytime at home and enjoy them. For the Suryakala, first we're going to make the dough. To a bowl, take 2 cups of maida, that is the all-purpose flour. Add a pinch of salt. To this, add 2.5 tablespoons of ghee. So just mix in the ghee. As you mix it with the ghee, you should get a nice crumbly texture. So when you hold it, you can see it's just binding together. So this is a good indication. Now gradually pour a little water and start mixing the dough. Mix the dough so that it's all well combined and it's nice and smooth. You don't want to knead it too much. Just gently mix it all in. Let this sit for about 20 minutes. For the sugar syrup, to the pot add 1 cup of water. Next add 1 cup of sugar. Wait till the sugar dissolves completely. After the sugar syrup is dissolved, boil it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then add half teaspoon of cardamom powder. Add a few saffron strands. This will give you a nice color and flavor. Although the saffron strands are optional, reduce the heat to a low and let it boil for another 5 minutes. So you can see after 5 minutes the syrup is reduced a bit. Turn off the stove. So as the syrup cools down, it will thicken further. So now we're going to make the filling for the Suryakala. I've taken 100 grams of unsweetened koa or koya. Just crumble it roughly. So you can see it's very nice and soft and smooth. To this I'm going to add some chopped nuts. I have a combination of cashew nuts, pistachios and almonds that have been chopped. Next add a pinch of cardamom powder. Add 3 teaspoons of powdered sugar. So now I just mix everything. The filling is done. So I'm just going to divide this filling into small equal size balls. This way when we make the Suryakala it will be easy. So I'm just going to divide the dough. Roll out the dough ball. So you can see, roll it out. It's not too thin, it's a bit thick. So using a cutter, I'm just going to cut out these circles. This is just to make things a little easier. So you can see, it's a bit thick. It's not too thin. So I'm just going to gently flatten the edges here because we're going to fold it in. So once you've done that, just dab a little water, gently rub it onto the edges. Take a little filling, close the side. Now see, just seal it so it stays intact. So just dab a little water to seal this. So once this is done, now gently start folding it in. So just pinch one side here. You need to use both your hands for this, it's easier, and fold it in. So that's how you make the pleats. Pinch and then fold it in. So I've made all the Suryakalas. Now I am going to deep fry all of them. For this, take a nice wide kadai, pour enough oil for deep frying. Heat the oil so that it's just warm enough. Keep the flame on low and gently slide in the prepared Suryakala pieces. So you can see as soon as you drop it into the oil, it doesn't bubble up immediately. So you need to cook this on low heat. The Suryakala generally takes a long time to cook because you're going to cook these on low flame. So you have to be a little patient with that. So now you can see the Suryakalas have got a lovely golden brown color. So once you've got this color on both sides, remove from the hot oil and gently slide it into the sugar syrup. And if the sugar syrup crystallizes, don't worry about it. Just heat it a little bit and you can slide them into the warm sugar syrup. Let it soak in the sugar syrup for about 10 minutes so it absorbs all those nice flavors. I'm going to garnish it with some chopped pistachios. You can enjoy these Suryakalas nice and warm.